Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a battle against an immortal enemy, where the key to victory isn't about more power, but about a deep understanding of metaphysics. This is a story about balance, perception, and how you can win a fight by literally rewriting the rules of reality itself. Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to set the stage at the gate of balance to really get a grip on the core conflict. Then we'll get into the nitty-gritty of material and immaterial light. This is the metaphysical toolkit our heroes absolutely need. And finally, we'll see how all that knowledge gets put to the ultimate test against the Weaver of Calamity, leading to a conclusion that completely flips the script. All right, so our story kicks off at a great gate. But this isn't just some fancy doorway. It's a powerful symbol that shows us exactly what the fundamental conflict of this world is all about. A universe that's built on a really precarious but constant harmony between two opposing forces. Now, you really got to look closely at this. On one side of the scale, you have 7 heroes, each channeling elemental power. And on the other, a single, monstrous being, the Weaver, whose power perfectly mirrors those very same elements. They're in perfect equilibrium. See, this isn't about one side just winning. It's about the entire system being held in this super delicate cosmic balance between light and dark. And that's the whole idea right there. That balance we just saw, it isn't peaceful, not at all. The source material describes it as this constant, connected struggle, like a cosmic tug of war. Light and darkness, yeah, they're opposites, but they are forever linked, forever pulling against each other in this eternal contest that basically defines their reality. So, to take on the darkness, our heroes figure out pretty quick that just punching harder isn't going to cut it. They have to go back to school in a way. They need to learn the fundamental laws of their reality, starting with something we all think we know, material light. Okay, so material light. This is basically the light you and I know. It's the stuff that travels in straight lines, bounces off in objects, and lets us see the world. It's what gives things form, color, texture. It is the absolute bedrock of how we perceive the physical world. You know, how we see anything really just boils down to these 3 key principles: transparency, reflection, and refraction. It's not about what an object is, it's about how it interacts with light. And trust me, that little detail is going to become absolutely critical later on. Right, so using those principles, you can pretty much sort every physical object into one of 3 buckets. First, you've got transparent stuff, like air, which is totally invisible. Then you have translucent things, like water, that are kind of visible. And finally, opaque objects, like a tree or a rock, which reflect most of the light and are fully visible from the outside. And this brings us to a real game changer: refraction. It's way more than just making a straw look bent in a glass of water. If you can actually master bending light, you can create some seriously powerful illusions. But more importantly, if you can bend light around an object so it never reaches someone's eyes, well then you've got true invisibility. But seeing the physical world, that's only half the picture. Not even. The lesson now shifts from the seen to the unseen. And this is where we get into a much more abstract and, frankly, more powerful concept: immaterial light. This is where the true nature of their reality really starts to open up. So what's the deal with immaterial light? Well, unlike the regular stuff that bounces off of physical things, immaterial light interacts with abstract concepts. It's not going to show you a rock, it's going to let you perceive a person's soul, their ideals, or these other invisible realities that shape the entire universe. It's the light of understanding, not just seeing. And here's the catch, and it's a big one. You can't just learn to see this hidden world. It's something you have to earn. Your soul, which is shaped by all your life experiences, has to become the right key to unlock the gateway to this deeper layer of reality. Think of it like this. Your life is one big tank, and it's slowly filling up with the water of experience. As that water level gets higher, it reaches different pipes. These are thresholds of maturity and understanding. And only when the water is high enough can it flow through one of those pipes and fill a brand new compartment of perception, giving you access to another piece of immaterial light. You can only see what your experience has prepared you for. All right, trading montage is over. With their lessons in both the material and the immaterial complete, our heroes are finally ready for their final trial, a direct, head-on showdown with the Weaver of Calamity. And you gotta understand that the stakes here are absolutely massive. This isn't just some boss fight, it's a simulation. The Weaver is just a stand-in, a dress rehearsal, really, designed to teach the heroes the blueprint for taking down an even greater, universe-threatening entity. They are literally learning how to save all of reality. And wow, the Weaver does not mess around. Right out of the gate, it establishes its overwhelming power, roaring at the heroes as it kicks up this massive, terrifying storm of wind. It's making it very clear who's in charge in this dark environment. So the heroes do what they're trained to do. They scan the enemy, they gather their intel, but what they find is a total game breaker. The Weaver of Calamity has one defining trait that changes everything. It's immortal. It cannot be killed. So you're up against an impossible, immortal enemy. What do? The heroes realize they can't win by playing by the old rules. So using everything they've just learned about light and darkness, they decide, if you can't win the game, you change the rules of the game itself. I mean, seriously, how do you defeat something that can't be killed? Brute force? Totally useless. They can't win by fighting harder. They have to fight smarter, by changing the very conditions of the battle. And then they have that light bulb moment. They realize the Weaver works on, reverse logic. The dark, debilitating environment that makes it super powerful is the exact opposite of their own enhancing zone of light. So if darkness is its strength, then light must be its weakness. And they don't hesitate. They put this theory to the test immediately. With a single, brilliant move, a forbidden technique no less, they physically grab the immortal monster and just hurl it out of its dark zone and right into their zone of light. This one move changes absolutely everything. And the change is just, whoa! It's instant, and it is absolutely devastating for the Weaver. The second it lands in the hero's zone, its entire nature gets inverted. Its immortality? Gone. It's now mortal. Its most powerful skills? Sealed. Its senses? It's completely blind. The unbeatable foe is now totally and utterly vulnerable. So just by understanding this fundamental rule, that one being's power-up is another's poison, the heroes turned an unwinnable fight into a decisive victory. They didn't just beat the enemy, they beat the very concept of its immortality. But just when you think it's over, it's not. As the battle ends, a new rule appears, and it's a huge hint at a much deeper challenge to come. They've conquered this external enemy at the summit, sure, but now they're told that the real journey, the discovery of self, is only just beginning. They've won the battle, but what new internal war is waiting for them now?